Hey, this is a quick internal video just referencing spell mechanics for the anti-bullying spell. Just sharing this with close friends and family, and I have a scheduled video shoot coming up soon for this and other spells to share and transmit. So first a demo of the spell, then a detailed step-by-step instruction in how to do it, and then most of the rest of this video is magical theory, how this works, and why the composition is such. So this is a spell to use, used by whoever is being bullied towards whoever is bullying them. The first anti-bullying spell I did ended up with somebody having a broken arm, a sprained arm, and a broken leg, and I swore off powerful magic for a while after that. I didn't know what I was doing. It was just a karmic rebound. It was not black magic or anything like that. I just sent all their nastiness they were sending towards me and a girl they were really hurting back to them. And so I've been looking for ways to integrate prayer and love and have things be more gentle. And karma is a part of this, but I think gentle is really important because honestly and ultimately, as I write in my book, Magic is Real, we want to pray for bullies to be healed so that their desire to bully goes away, vanishes, transmutes, and whatever hurt inside of them is inspiring them to feel dominant over others, to feel better about themselves. That wound hopefully may be healed. So here goes. Aval, Om, Shivaya, Ha, Ata, Shalom, Namaste. So, one more time, and I'll be doing this a few more times, but broken down. Aval, Om, Shivaya, Ha, Ata, Shalom, Namaste. Clearly we're waiting for a professional shoot because this spell came to me recently as a pretty full, complete download, and paying attention to the camera and stuff, it's broken up a bit. So what are the mechanics of this spell? And I'll show you one more time fluently. Aval, Om, Shivaya, Ha, Ata, Shalom, Namaste. So here are the components of this spell. And a spell, as I learned from Silver Ravenwolf, and I'll borrow her definition. I have many of my own, but the one for now is a focused form of prayer. And a prayer, I heard from Buddhist literature around the same time, is just a thing for self-transformation. And if you're from or have affinity towards a religious or mystical or mythological belief system where there are deities and prayer involved, I ascribe to that belief system, then prayer can also be asking, requesting support from those higher beings to enact your hopes, your will, your desires, your intent with the highest divine good of love and light and everybody's personal growth and spiritual evolution and ascension. So the components of this, so this is a traditional meditation mudra. Mudra is just hand position. And the first is actually a shifted view of this. So, if you're meditating, you'll maybe be like this if you're using this hand posture, and these fingers will generally be relaxed. But for this spell, this spell to heal bullies is really what it is. Is the first is you have that mudra, and the mudra is facing outwards, and the word you use is aval, A-V-A-L. It's an Italian word. It means so. And you can just oh, so the pizza's ready. So, you're out of the bath. So, nice lesson. So, what are we going to do today? How are you doing? So, I'm okay. But it's all aval, right? Oh, aval. How are you doing? Aval, I'm okay. And I'm not going to speak whole Italian sentences to you. You can learn the etymology of these in much deeper dives that we can go into in our in-person Wizard School seminars and the research you can do in Italian culture if you're really curious. Same applies for all these other words. But just to keep this instruction concise, the so, with this mudra, kind of facing outward, is you see the bully as a soul. And just to switch things up a little bit. Let's say Samantha is bullying Justin. Um, so in saying aval, you're keeping Samantha, or the bully, in mind, and you are speaking with a holy, reverent, peaceful intent, yet direct and clear. So you're like, so, like, this is what's happening. And you can visualize you are looking her or her soul, the bully's soul, him, depending on your situation, directly in the eye, or any other pronoun that works. Um, this is just engaging. So as you do this, you visualize that you are looking directly into the eyes and into the soul and having a soul connection with your bully. And do this in a peaceful, quiet space where you're undisturbed and generally unobserved, unless somebody is very supportive and understanding of you and of what you're doing. But for true, total concentration, it's generally ideal to do alone. And in my school, we do these things in groups, and when there's understanding and loving, because belief does affect action, and if there's somebody with you who you like but who doesn't believe in this, that could actually negate some of the energies of your spell. That's related to a topic of psi and kata-psi I talk about more in my book, essentially magic and anti-magic. They're phrases of measuring belief. So this is engaging with their soul, aval, step 1 of 7. So once you do that, and once you are engaged with a visualized, felt sense, all of this is you must believe it is happening as it is happening. You are engaging with them. And you may take a number of tries for this. I mean, if you think about learning calculus, it's complex. You have a lot of foundation. And same thing for magic. There's foundational skills. There's visualization. There's pronunciation. There's flexibility in hand gestures. And a quick note for the otherwise abled. If you do not have 2 functional hands, or 2 generally functional hands, you can just visualize the motions included. You can also do other types of muscular work, and I'll have videos for the all-enabled at some point in my curriculum. So aval, and then the next phrase that you say is om, and most of us know om. It's just a universal mantra, name of God, name of the universe, name of you, depending on how much you take that in, and chanting Om brings peacefulness, it brings alignment, it brings awareness, it brings connection with, understanding of, and just harmony with the universe. And I would recommend, as a warm-up for this spell, especially if this is your first spell, or first spell from me, that you set aside 15 minutes of meditation and meditative Oms before you start. And just deep breathing, some sound healing, calm yourself down. You want to be in an emotionally neutral state. Ideally, because that's really great training for life. But if you can't be in an emotional state, I will add something of infusing emotion into this. And you just want to infuse all of your emotion into the spell. Imagine emotions as colors and energy inside of you that you just push out into this as you do these different mudras and these hand things and these words. Mudras are hand things. Mandalas are images like that. And mantras are like Om Namo Shivaya is a mantra. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha is a mantra. So we have aval, Om. In other words, so bully, keeping in mind the peaceful, loving nature of the universe. And so now you are setting the context for the spell as you are engaging with your soul. And if you are curious about more of how to engage with another soul, I recommend 2 supplementary education sources. One is the website probablefuture.com, and there's a section towards the end of it, once you've learned remote viewing and astral projection, and you've added some parallel processing capacity to your brain through that program. It's excellent. It's, last I checked, $150. I'll try to get an affiliate discount thing going for you on my website soon, but for now, just go to the URL. And towards the end of it, you'll learn a technique that can support this. And there's also a classic book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and there's something that a lot of inventors used, and I believe Andrew Carnegie, but I know definitely the author, talked about this a lot, of a council of wise people, where at night you talk with the souls of those you connect with. And so I have Amma, Sheryl Sandberg, Wayne Dyer, Dr. Martin Luther King, Jim Carrey, Falco Terresco, who I have a lot of sync with, Marianne Williamson, Elizabeth Gilbert, a Buddha, Thoth, myself at a happy, smiling, lovely state to mirror neuron and train with myself, and a few other things, Galactic Buddha, but if you really visualize, imagine, and intently work on connecting with the soul in imagination, you can build up your ability to connect with them on the astral and other planes. But if you have that intent, because we're all one and all souls are aspect of the same, and you are me and I am you and we're all connected, the more belief and conviction you have that you're talking with an aspect of, or specifically someone's soul, the more that's true. Now, they may not be consciously aware of it, the bully, depending on their level of spiritual awareness, your level of strength and effectiveness, and souls are very big and very complex, and your soul has memory of all your past lives, and unless you can remember all of them right now, you don't have full awareness of your soul. So don't expect anybody you do this with to actually know what happened, unless they're very tuned in and you're very tuned in, and ideally if you have some type of a connection already. And all this is foundational. I know I said I would say theory later, but I'm feeling called to describe it as I'm doing this, so you understand the mechanics of the spell. So we have Aval, Om, and the next movement is Shivaya. So that's the most complex so far. So from this mudra of Om, what we do is we hold the world in our hands, the Buddha and the Christ and many others, ascended masters and otherwise, hold and transmute and send love to the whole world to eliminate suffering and purify with light, all at one time. And Shiva, in Hinduism, is known as many things. He's also known as the Destroyer, which is a component of this spell, but he's a pretty supreme level deity. He's pretty high up there. If for some reason your belief system takes offense to this, excuse me, then I didn't warm up for this video. It just came to me and I wanted to do it right away, so pardon me. If your belief system has conflict with that, we're just working with consciousness here, so you can substitute Shivaya for another phrase. But I would encourage you to work with Shivaya for the moment, unless you really, really have an issue with it, because there's power in divine names, and this name specifically. So you're holding the world with love, and there's many types of love, and after this, you have this, and that's all part of Shivaya, right? So you're holding the world, and you're going like this, and you can do like a little chi ball, if you know how to create chi balls. Just projecting chi and visualization in a felt sense, and my hands are already tingling as I do this. And so you hold the world with love, and then you have a fist and an open palm, which is a gesture we'll repeat later. The fist symbolizes strength and action. It does not symbolize aggression, which is extremely important to keep in mind. If you hold any intent in any magical working, everything we do is magical. Magic is just science we don't understand yet, but any intent you have and hold goes out to your thoughts, goes out to your words, goes out to your actions, goes out to your nonverbal cues, goes out to all the stuff in reality, including that which you bring back to you. So all you want is firm action with the loving presence of knowing the whole world. And if you're really good at your visualization skills, you can visualize yourself as Shiva at that moment, or Shiva mirroring you, and both happening simultaneously. So because right now on video I can only communicate two arms until I get some great special effects going, if you're in Shiva mode, if you can get there, or Shakti mode, but Shiva mode, your upper arms are doing this, and your lower arms are doing this. And this is my left hand, by the way. The camera mixes it up. So that's an advanced level customization to the spell. So what this is you are offering choice. So again, the meaning here is you are holding the whole world in love, including the bully, and including yourself, and including every detail, every person, every building, every insult, injury, word, love, kindness, flower, murder, everything, the whole world in your hands with loving kindness transmutation. Honestly, just doing this for an hour and a half will be just as effective, if not more effective than the spell, but it's nice to have the structure of this. And you have your firm action and you have the offer. And what you're offering is you're offering for them to walk away. So we are in a universe of free will. This is not a spell to control another being. This is an interaction of energies. So consistency of visualization and concentration is pretty pivotal in magic and in siddhi development. Siddhi is a Hindu term for mystical power. And if you hold the concentration during this of you are talking with their soul, then you offer them the energy of peace. It can be like some vapor or white light, and the knowledge that you can take firm action. Defend yourself. Ideally, there's nothing to defend against, but you can if you want to interpret that. But be very careful to not have thoughts of aggression. So Going a bit meta for a second, um, this is multiple visualizations, multiple felt senses, multiple intentions, complex hand motions, precise pronunciations of words in multiple different languages, and a general knowing of the meaning of the spell, why you're doing it, understanding of Shiva, a basic extent where you could read part of his page on any page that you deeply resonate with as far as biography goes. There's many of them. Some are good, some are not. And so there's just 8 things I rattled off, and I could rattle off 30, but, magic, successful magic takes some work, like calculus, like backflips, like programming, like anything. Magic isn't the only solution, it sometimes isn't the best solution, but if you want magic as a solution, here it is. So far we have Aval, Om, Shivaya, and then right after Shivaya, as I started, you go, Ha! And you want that to be strong, like a martial arts ki. Ki is like, ki is energy in Japanese, in Chinese it's chi, in Indian it's prana, in Damanhurian Atlantean it's prana for now. And so the ha is a great way to release tension. You push in your diaphragm, so you could practice this, like ha! And it's a great thing to do, like many of these. You can do this on its own 30, 40, 50, 60 times in a row, ideally in a place where you won't disturb people, but doing that, especially with thrusting out, is a great way to, thrusting out quickly is a nice Qigong technique you can see anywhere, where you're moving the energy in your body. If you're stressed, tense, angry, scared, it's great to do this with a strong push power of a sound, because you shake up the cortisol in your body and you assert yourself, and this is a great thing to build confidence. So again, you can just drill, ha, ha, ha. You could do different hand motions, but I like a flat palm for now, because it's not as complex as a proper fist, and it doesn't really train people to fight. It trains you to project and work with energy, because again, we're not trying to be fighters. It's good to defend yourself if you absolutely have to, and through whatever medium, but I'm training you to, get out your energy and project energy outward. So the Shivaya, ha, is to let them know that you are fully capable of working with and projecting and asserting energy. And so as you're looking them in the eye, as you're looking Bully Sam in the eye, a ha is to say, yo. Now, I guarantee, I hate the word guarantee, but I love it too. I feel it's strongly likely that if you are actually in the process of being physically bullied, and you make a strong, powerful, loud sound, the strike I would recommend against, because if they're close or if they take it as a physical threat, they could retaliate. But if you just make a strong sound and just move your hands like a little bit, people around will hear, it will assert you, and it will kind of freak them out a little bit. There's a lot of stories of old martial arts masters and young ones, and the intensity of the old man's gaze makes the young guy like surrender and say, oh gosh, I see you mean business. So even just going, ha, with intensity, can train you, even if you don't actually verbalize it, if you are ever being bullied, to have the strength and intensity and ferocity of that gaze, and they'll stand down. I was being bullied once at a video arcade I worked at in high school, and I was playing Dance Dance Revolution, it was fun, somebody knocked me off the game, they started dancing and playing, and not in a fun way, like making fun of us, and I felt really embarrassed, and my friend and I lost money, and I just confronted him, and I said things relevant to that encounter, but I just held my ground, and he backed off. Now, in most cases, running is good if you're actually in physical danger, and it's better to escape. It doesn't matter what you look like. You don't want to get injured. But I'm just giving supplementary anti-bully training, and use your judgment. And if you're underage, or even if you're above age, if you can, get it, guidance of a trusted, mature friend and mentor. So continuing on, we have Aval, Om, Shivaya, Ha, Ata. So you go from this to this. Now this is where you must customize the spell. So Ata is a Hebrew word for you, and it's a masculine form. The feminine form is At. So you go Ha, At, or Ha, Ata, and it's just like you. So you're saying, so in a world of peacefulness, loving the world and knowing I have the energy to destroy this type of energetic interaction, this bullying. I am destroying this bully relationship that you instigated, are a part of. I would just say they're a part of. And with the pointing of you, the meaning that you want to keep is you towards them and towards yourself, because you're a part of the bullying relationship as well, the victim or whatever you want to call it. And this spell is really for both of you to transmute both of you at the same time. So, not much more, just at or ata. So ha, ata. And then we go back to the open palm, and we say the word shalom, which is a Hebrew word. In Arabic, it's salam, and that's okay to substitute. But generally, for most of us, shalom. I'm of a lineage of King Solomon, and so I work with Hebrew stuff. I also grew up Jewish, so there's a little bit there. And shalom is just, now that they know, you're offering peace. Again, you're offering peace. Peace and calm and loveness is really, really important. So you're letting them know you're destroying the bullying relationship, and after you destroy the bullying relationship, you're letting them know that you're just here in peace, whether or not there's any other interactions after that point. And what this is, while you still have this action, because if they don't maintain peace, you keep the fist to show that you can do what you'll need to do to protect yourself, but hopefully they recognize it. And something I learned from Zen martial arts school, a certain type of bow, where you cover an open fist with a palm in a gesture of war if you have to, peace is ideal, and then you bow. And as you bow, you maintain eye contact. You don't let go of eye contact. You maintain eye contact, and you say namaste. So again, running through that spell, aval, om, shavaya, ha, ata, shalom, namaste. So namaste is the soul in me honors the soul in you. The light in me honors the light in you. Let's resonate as souls. Let's take away this clothing of how we look, what we're called, what we wear, what our dynamic is. Let's take away all that stuff and we're just souls. We just want to be in peace and harmony with the universe. We just want to live. We just want to learn. We just want to grow. Let's acknowledge each other as souls. And really, you acknowledge them as a soul. So just to show you from the side, bows like this. And the body motions aren't going to make or break it. The intent is what makes or breaks it. But I would encourage you for this spell to really practice it, to really work on it. So far I've been talking for about 22 and a half minutes, and I'm describing it. And you might, do it a few times and get it right away. But when I first heard this, I did it about 35 times before I'm like, okay, yeah, that is the pattern of the magic. And I experimented with a few different tracks. So think for a second why intent is the most important thing. I'll be right back. So intent is all. We are in a world of consciousness. We're working on spiritualizing matter, bringing the heavens to the earth, divining things. And because others are really versions of you, and because spells are a focused form of prayer and transformation, what you're doing is you're transforming yourself. You are hopefully offering transformation to the other, but by bringing in divine energy and by connecting with a peaceful vibration of the universe, you are offering to them the choice, the option. You're remembering, like, if they don't take it, you have your ability to defend yourself. So again, this is not about control. This is about offering, and requesting that help. So I would encourage, as you're bowing and saying namaste, that you see them surrounded in white light, and you see them as a core of white light, and you as a core of white light, just seeing each other as pure, loving, pure souls. You're going to have more lives, they're going to have more lives. You had many before this, they had many before this. This bullying scenario is just one thing you need for your growth right now. So do they. And this spell is a way of speeding things up to get to that point of growth sooner. Now, there's a few things in addition to keep in mind. One thing that you can keep in mind, and again, with all of this, the more intent, conviction, and visualized rich detail, the better. You can also envision an encounter with the bully, and angels presiding over you, Shiva presiding over the relationship, severing the red angry threads between you, maybe from the bully to you, and angels, however you visualize angels, just sending benevolent white light for them to be healed and safe, for you to be healed and safe, because often bullies are abused and they're not safe and they try to assert power over others because they don't feel safe themselves, and that helps them feel safe, and then they go home and stuff happens, and then they want to bully again because they need to get out the energy and get control over their life. It's a sad and tough dynamic. And so they're being prayed for, you're being prayed for, and you're ending this relationship, this cycle of violence, in this case, in this relationship. Now, you can do the spell multiple times. You can do this spell half-heartedly. You can do a total conviction. This won't harm anybody. But I recommend that you practice the hand motions, you practice the words, you really get the meaning in, you practice the visualized scenario at the end, you practice all of it enough time so that it comes second nature, so that, say you are being bullied or you believe you might be being bullied. I've actually been a little bit bullied by somebody this week, and so that is a reason maybe why this came in. And you run into somebody, there's a little bit of something, you're probably going to see them again at work, at school, wherever, and so, you can just go in a private bathroom stall if you have access to one, and you can just whisper these words or say them clearly in your inner hearing. And just go like, Val Om Shivaya Ha Ata Shalom Namaste. And just, run through it. But the stronger the intent that you have, the more likely this will be very powerful, very successful. So what I would recommend, if you want to do the traditional highest level route, is you give 30 minutes for the spell and 90 minutes for prep. Especially if you don't have a lot of these foundational skills. You might actually want a few days of prep time. I'm not joking. If you have trouble visualizing a sphere, I teach visualization elsewhere in the school, but if you have trouble visualizing one sphere, becoming two spheres, becoming four spheres, rotating, changing colors, having spikes coming off of them, just transforming individual geometric objects, work on that type of stuff first. A great book with visualization guides and a classic is Starhawk, so a goddess religions book. It has visualization training in it. It's by, the book is called The Spiral Dance, and the author is Starhawk. Fabulous, fabulous book. It's been out for 20, 30 years now. Maybe longer. So in the 2 hours that most of you who are at the level of your development that you can come to this at, I'd say have those 2 hours at night, undisturbed. A new moon is best, not a full moon, for the spell. If you want it as strong as possible. And again, you can do it multiple times. And if you think it needs multiple times to work or keep working in increments, you could make it a nightly thing. But if you really are already a powerful magician, where you have very strong intent, conviction, belief, and you get everything as right as you believe it needs to be, you could do this once with total conviction, and it'll take. That's what happened for the thing I did with the person who bullied me in middle school. Like a conversation with somebody, trying to understand something in the physical 3D world, if you really look them in the eye, you talk at their pace, you really work to get it through them, you really connect with them human to human, make sure they understand it, you can have somebody understand something in one conversation that might have taken a lot of smaller conversations of dropping hints and stuff, and they didn't get it. Same thing here. Same thing with a dog or a trained, traumatic, or blissful, beautiful experience with you. If something happens and it's a powerful interaction, to leave a strong impression, you usually only need one occasion. But if you need more, it's okay. It's not bad. It's just where you're at and the scenario. And if you need a lot of repetitions, that's okay. That's just your magical development saying, hey, this is the pace of our development now. At least you're building it. At least you're progressing. So I have really 2 or 3 things that I want to share. A couple little bits of Q&A. Just want to make sure we're good for time. The first question is, how important is this as, in the levels of importance of different things? So I mentioned this a little bit in the beginning, but magic is meant to supplement life, not replace it. Magic is meant to affect the probabilities of different scenarios and different outcomes. So if you only do magic and you're a low to mid-level in power, you'll almost definitely need physical action to go with it. If you're high level of magical ability, or this spell, for example, was very high in strength, because my first spell, I have innate ability just from my past lives, but it was really my first really serious magical working, and it worked very, very strongly. Could have been the, youth unintentional burst of magic like Harry Potter making the wall invisible and Dudley fell into the cage of the snake in Sorcerer's Stone. But you want physical action. If you're in school and somebody's bullying you, hurting you, stealing from you, embarrassing you, emotional hurt is just as significant, sometimes more so than physical hurt, if not a lot more so, then tell somebody, tell several people. Take other steps you need to protect yourself. If you're in an office environment and maybe you're being harassed, definitely tell somebody. Definitely don't shirk what you believe is the responsible, appropriate, mainstream, regular world set of actions. I always say if you see somebody get hit by a car while they're biking and their leg is fractured and the bone is sticking out and there's blood everywhere, no matter how powerful a magician you are, unless you can heal that wound instantly, call 911. Same thing with this. Magic supplements life. Magic does not replace life for the levels that we're discussing here. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, can this be done in groups, or can you do this for somebody else? So yes to both. You can do this in a group. If a bully is bullying multiple people, you just have to synchronize your speech and your hand gestures and make sure you all have the same belief and intent. And it's really important that you look somebody in the eye and you really know them. Don't do magic with just anybody. You really need to know somebody and believe they're telling you the truth and believe their intentions match. If you are not certain of that and you do magic with somebody, you are involving your souls in a soul level spiritual working. And if they have an intent that is not your intent and not an intent you want, it can affect you. So you want to be careful about that. Yet, if somebody is in harmony with you, you're close to them, and both of you are being bullied by the same person. Sam is bullying both of you. Sam is great. It's used in both genders in English, and you're really both in sync. Then it's actually more powerful to do magic in groups, especially protective magic like this. Can you do it for somebody else? Yes, but it won't be as powerful. But if the other person is unwilling or unable, under any definition, they don't believe in this stuff, they're too scared, anything else, you don't know them, you just want to help them, but you don't want to get involved physically, so you don't want to talk to them, and you don't want to be pulled into the drama, you're just witnessing it, then yeah, you can do it for them. What you do is you, in the beginning, just put your palms together in front of your heart and just say a prayer to any higher benevolent force that you synchronize most with. If it's the all, if it's the universe, if it's Jesus, Buddha, Mary Magdalene, Moses, religious figures from any other background. I want to be respectful of those that don't like people not of their faith to mention names, but if you are of any tradition, of any religion, and you have a being you believe to be holy, powerful, good, and kind, ask that being to support you in doing the work on behalf of the soul being bullied, and ask that this work be supported if it is in that being's soul choice, like the choice of their higher self, their soul, and try to ask their soul if you can communicate with it, or look at a photo and look in the eye, and ask permission to do this. And if the permission is no, don't proceed. If the permission is yes, you can proceed with the understanding that the higher divine force is presiding over this. And what you do is you put yourself in that person's body and you do the spell from their perspective, from a vantage point. You don't try to possess them or anything like that. You just see yourself as them. If that's too difficult for you or doesn't feel right, you can do it from a third party, and you can see in the bullying scenario yourself spiritually as a third party. So Sam is bullying Justin, and you're here, and so you connect with Sam, and you do the spell for Sam. And I would recommend that you actually do it a second time for Justin, but you change the intent a little bit, and you have the phrases be more gentle, and you change the meanings to supporting defense. So instead of saying, yo, I can defend myself, you're saying, hey, you can defend yourself. That's what the fist means. And if you're sending energy for, chill a bit, maybe chill in victim mode, chill in this thought that you can't or shouldn't defend yourself. And the you, yeah, you're getting their attention. Everything else can stay mostly the same. And because everything is consciousness and is belief and is tied together, all of the spell components here, the hand gestures, the visualizations, the intents, the beliefs, the words, are meant to anchor your consciousness. If you were Jesus, you could just snap your fingers and the leg would be healed. You probably wouldn't even need to snap your fingers. And, the bullying would just stop, probably with a glance, to be honest. And so the reason we need these things is because our consciousness believes we do. Everything is a placebo effect in this world. Everything is a placebo effect in this world. So magic has power if you believe it to have power. Simply put. If you don't believe it has power, I don't know why you're still watching this video, but that's just the science of how magic and the placebo effect and belief and the holographic material reality around us work. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Because this is longer, I might share this with a few more people. If you're seeing this, I would love your help and support so I can develop and share more authentic spells and help them with more people. So if you want to help and support, you can visit facebook.com/magicalascension. It's the Facebook page for Magic is Real. And especially you can visit patreon.com/magicaljoy. That's patreon.com/magicaljoy. And if you feel abundant or able financially to support me and the Solomon School of Sorcery and scholarships for people and just the spread of protective, helpful, loving, abundance, ascension-y magic around the world, I would be very, very grateful for whatever support you feel called to give. The website, magicmoneyhealth.com, is under construction. I do offer private instruction. I do also offer workshops and speaking engagements and things like that. And the more I show myself as ready and able to serve, the more the universe kind of comes in and offers support as well. So even if it's just a positive energy or kind thought or well wish or brief prayer, if that's all you can or want or feel called to do to support this and the growth of this school, then thank you so very, very much. Quick word and definition. So source is all, is God, is universe. Sorcery is the art of working with that. Wayne Dyer talks about this a lot and a few references to Carlos Castaneda. It's not exactly Castaneda's definition, but it's similar to it. Okay, love and light to you, brothers and sisters. I hope you are well. I hope you and all you care for are safe. I wish you the knowing and the magical strength and the support and the strength and the power to become what you feel is best and right and ideal for you to become. I thank you for your time and attention. I wish you well, and in this endeavor, if you need it, or if somebody needs it, I definitely, absolutely wish you success. Comments and feedback, of course, much appreciated, because they will raise the visibility of this post and this video wherever you see it appear. Okay, again, thank you so much for your time.